outside work, as soon as the budget is passed, the outside work would be started within a month. The inside work would be started. I know about the construction side of things. It'd be nice to do it in the winter. A lot of contractors would like to get in there in the winter because it's warm and good
Maybe that's why
conditions.
those bids were, some of them lower.
Well, it may or may not be. The thing that I think when the bids are reviewed is one of the questions that should be asked by the bidders, if they would hold that price until the 1st of April, 1st of May. Then you know where you stand. Right now, it's kind of a positive thing. First of all, you don't have enough money to do it with any of the bids. You just don't have enough money. You gotta come up with some money from somewhere else.
So are you suggesting to postpone the community building rate?
No. No, I'm not. I'm saying, we know that, that's a firm bid. We didn't get a complete bid on the fire department. We get the roof, but we didn't get the walls. And the walls are as equally as important as the roof, in my mind, only because, as you know, there was water penetrating the building, and it still will. But you can't seal that in this kind of weather either. I mean, it's asking a little too much.
The roof and the trusses is the major safety issue facing us right now.
It's dangerous.
And
Well, you know, you say that, I want to see some documentation, Marcia, that says it's dangerous. I haven't seen one thing that said it's dangerous. We had the engineer indicate it was good for at least 5 years.
Oh,
And
if
then-
it was fixed.
with it
No,
fixed,
no.
with
Yes,
the
it was, Bob.
Well, I'm sorry.
Well, so am I,
You
but
didn't
it's
hear
if
it
it was
corrected,
fixed.
because when it's fixed, it's good for 20 years. That's what he said.
No, we didn't.
Well,
He said
okay.
He put 10.
He said 5 to possibly 10, but he was only gonna guarantee 5.
Chairman,
Well,
Yes.
in regards to the line item that's up for debate right now, I recommend that, and I move that we table the remediation on the multi-purpose room roof repair till further notice.
At least that's not gonna cave in.
And but with her, it's not.
Does it leak?
It's not leaking like we thought it was leaking in the beginning. You even stated yourself that it's not that bad. I believe we'd be completely negligent if we didn't take care of our public safety building first. That's my belief. Were you
Well,
making a
when-
motion, or what were you doing?
Motion.
You made a motion?
I make a motion that we table the remediation on the multi-purpose room roof repair until further notice.
Yeah, that would do the fire department roof. That
That's not-
concerns me.
That's not the item on the agenda.
Okay, I'll second that.
Discussion?
So we've already sent out the bids, got them back. And it's not, in my opinion, it's not a big expense, that room. I mean, it's plenty, but it's not huge. $12,000 and some odd dollars, two little bidders.
On a building that we're not using.
You know,
And it
but we
isn't
don't want,
set to
but if
cave in.
it starts to leak, you can do a lot more damage. I mean, one thing you have to keep from leaking is your roof.
Well, Joe makes a good point, we are not using that building for any reason right now.
I'm more concerned because the guy that went through it found a lot of bad things at the fire department roof, and that concerns me. What if it should cave in and kill a guy? Never mind, mangle a truck. I mean, they haven't said anything good about it, that it's dangerous.
you know, you can qualify anything as being dangerous, but the building has stood for nearly 50 years, and it held up fairly well. Yes, there are some defects. I would agree with you.
I don't think he's had to very much maintain it since the 50 years.
But, you know,
Probably
the
should have.
bottom line is the fact that I don't see us in an urgent need to do that work until we know what it's going to cost to take care of the building.
be
I think the townspeople deserve that from us. I think they deserve to know what they're faced with. Just the same as we did with Rochester Street repair. It was $140,000. We split it over 2 years. The public was aware of it and they voted in favor of it. And, you know, I think that's the way you need to run business. And I really appreciate the bid process that went through for both our projects. My disappointment is that was not a complete not a remodel, but upgrade of the whole building. And so,
well, now, is Civil Consultants doing the outside as well as the roof part?
they haven't done anything at this point.
No, I mean, were they hired to do that, asked to do that also?
We can have them do that.
And the other thing we can, was that part of discussion with them?
No, there was more of a focus after the engineering analysis, the amount of stress and distress on the trusses that were there. The focus, and they recommended the focus be on the rehabilitation of the roof truss system first and foremost, and then deal with the rest of it. I understand Bob's point of view that he doesn't give a complete picture of the ceiling of the exterior walls, but the truss system, the trusses would be replaced, there'd be new bracing that would be put in the apparatus area that would carry the load, and then the trusses would be secured to the outside walls as part of this big package that was open this evening.
We're paid technical experts to come in, and they have told us that roof truss system is in trouble. And it's a complete safety issue, and it's a safety building. That is clear, that's clear in my mind. I don't know why it's not clear in yours, Bob. I know you think we could probably do it cheaper, but, I mean, we got bids all over the place, and our building fund is fairly close to some of these bids. And I know Keith and the finance department is looking at some ways to see if there's, maybe we can pull some money from other places, which definitely would have to be voted on by the town, but.
We weren't planning on rebidding the whole thing, Bob.
No. No, and if you remember, I asked Roy specifically that we get 2 bids, one for the exterior of the building and one for the roof. The only thing we got was the roof, and that's my bone of contention, because we're not telling the people what it's gonna cost them to do the outside of the building.
Do
And that's
the whole project.
right. That's an expensive situation as well. I mean, if you can find money enough to do the whole thing, do the outside walls and the roof up to the community center, fine. But I just don't feel that the townspeople have given us that authority to do that. And until we go to a warrant to secure those funds, I don't think we can do the roof.
The town has given us permission by putting $55K in the building fund, CIP building fund.
Yes, and it was put for 2 purposes. The roof up there and split with the fire station.
But we knew the fire station was gonna cost us a lot more than $55,000.
Oh, absolutely.
We knew that.
But that was the figure that was presented to us in the budget, was $55,000. And it was passed, and I appreciate it. I think that townspeople could see the need. And the building committee went through those buildings and took a good look at them. And we just come up with that scenario that, and if you look at the information that the committee put together and gave to you folks, you would see that all the way along, the money was to be split between the 2 buildings. And, you know, I think the fact that we just don't have enough money with $55,000 to do either one, or do them both. We just don't have that. So my feeling is that we should wait, put that in abeyance until such time as we go to the town. But we need the figures to do that with. You know, we can't just arbitrarily say, well, it's gonna cost us $20,000 to do the outside wall. I wouldn't wanna make that estimate.
So then we don't fix the roof, which is bad, because we don't have the money to through the outside of the building. Is that what you're saying?
Well, you don't have enough money to do the roof either.
We're getting close though, we're real close.
That's right,
Well,
some of the
some of
bids
them
were
did.
under 55,
We're real close to some of those bids.
and 3 were close. And I mean, that's been told us,
But
and
you-
it's
but-
dangerous.
But listen, you're still not getting the point. The point is.
Yes, I
now,
am,
wait a
but we
minute. No,
only
the
have
town's-
so
Let her
much money,
finish. She's speaking.
and we do the danger, what could be a big danger ahead of the others. If that kid didn't just smash the truck, it would be horrendous, never mind any guys in there. I mean, we were told if we don't fix it, that's a possibility. I can't believe you're forgetting that.
Okay.
The only thing that I'm saying is, when we requested the funds, it was spelled out pretty clearly that it was to be used for 2 buildings. And we're not doing that. We're going against what the people have authorized us to do.
I'm sure the people would want what was dangerous done first.
I'm not denying that,
My
but
God,
let's-
what if it,
Let's ask
what if
them
it
for some
lets
money.
go?
Let's ask them for the money and see if they'll come up with it.
Well, I think
And kill another 2 months.
at least what I'm hearing is that Pete has in mind some way of all funding this, am I right?
Yes.
That's what I thought I heard that. I'd be interested in listening to that anyway.
Right now, you have Mr. Chairman, you have a motion and a second to table until further notice any repairs to the multi-purpose. Yeah, we're gonna get back to that
Well,
motion.
how long will those bids last?
Don't know.
That's what I'm saying, I have no idea.
Right, we don't know how long the contract will be on.
Sorry.
Last for a while, I would
We can
say.
ask.
Oh, I don't know, shingles, what, tomorrow morning for that matter, that's what you do it, right?
We certainly can ask.
I mean, at this time of year, I mean, it's usually, people need some work, and, you know, they.
Well, I have a motion and a second. It's time to vote, discuss this, I guess.
Well, my main question is, why do we put it out to bid if we weren't really planning on doing it? Why did we bother? We get people writing up bids, sharpening their pencils, or whatever. I thought it was all cut and dried, we were gonna do that roof because it was almost the point of leaking.
And that was disastrous. I just see the other as being much worse. If what could happen does happen because we didn't fix it. And we're told it was dangerous.
We're talking about people's lives with the fire station, we're not talking about people's lives with the community center.
I understand that.
And we can't mess with that.
I understand that, but let's find out where the money's coming from for the fire station. I haven't heard, Peter said that they have, you know, he's been thinking about where we could get money to do that. I haven't heard him say he wants to
I'm
go
not sure,
for that.
you're not ready to,
Yeah, so we can chat a little bit about it. My thought process, as I look at some of your capital improvement program money that you've put aside over the years, we have a couple accounts that we just are not using the money any longer. It's been sitting there in abeyance for many, many years. So my thought process would be if it was something you wanted to contemplate, was to, as I talked earlier, to have a open special town meeting to transfer funds from whatever funds we feel are appropriate based on the estimates that we got into our capital building maintenance fund in order to take care of these projects.
Is there money enough there to do that?
Well, there's one, it's called the Capital Fund for ADA Repairs and Modifications, that was put aside for some work that we did here at the town hall. There's $11,004 left in that account. And we also have a capital reserve fund that we set up for surveys. This was done prior to my coming here, so it's been in here since 2004. And
Wait,
this-
that was surveys,
Yeah,
That was the perimeter survey
yeah,
That was
of all
when,
Berwick.
that was when they were trying to take land from Berwick and give to Lebanon and give to North Berwick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, I was here.
Yeah.
If
No,
I-
we were gonna gain a bunch from North Berwick.
if I may, for clarification,
Yeah, let us finish.
the money that's left there, as I understand it, the perimeter survey was done. It was never recorded, we have that survey
And you
worked
bet your
out.
life it wasn't recorded.
And we've already paid for it.
Yeah.
All right, so we have that. What I understand is the additional money was to take care of the boundary dispute that we were experiencing between the towns of South Berwick and Berwick as a result of the railroad tracks. and
Whether
the
we own half of
designation
it
those
or
tracks.
all of it, or they
Correct.
own half or all of it.
Correct.
Give them the whole
And-
railroad.
And as I understand from talking today, South Berwick either never put their money aside or refused to extend any money or expend any money for that.
Why would they want half of the railroad?
So what I'm saying is that you have one account for 11,004, you have another account with 31,163. So I could envision us staying below the $25,000 threshold and taking a portion of that money to do both of these roof jobs
That's $42,000.
and asking the townspeople to transfer funds from one of these accounts to our building maintenance accounts in order to complete those projects. That's an alternative that you would have.
Yeah, if you add 25 to 55, you get 80K. So,
We got 42,000.
Yeah, but you have to remember one thing, if we go over
one
the,
has to be voted on.
right, if we go over the 25,000,
Yeah,
then we have to go to a ballot
yeah.
vote. Other than that, we could have a warrant and have a special town meeting and have it open and explain to the people what we're attempting to do.
No, I was just adding the 55 in the building fund,
And that makes
and then,
91,000.
and then add the 25 you're saying, so that we can do it at an open town meeting.
Correct.
And that brings us up to 80K, which could possibly do both projects.
91,000.
Wow.
No, 2011 is 36, and 55 is 91.
I was,
Right.
he's using 25, we can only take 25.
Right. Out of one account, you get another account here.
Oh, I see your point of view. Have two,
Doing
two
two ladies.
$25,000 account.
No, but the 11,000 would be one article, and 25 out of the 31 would be the other article. I mean, how you have to do that anyway, you just put them under one.
Or you could take 25 from your survey amount.
That's
and
what I'm
just
saying.
have one article.
Yeah, so I'm saying, and then 11,000 from the town hall thing.
That's if you wanted to move that to do these projects.
Yeah. And
That would tie
would
into
do-
what Bob was trying to say about having a little additional money for the walls.
That would give you 91,000 with the 55,000 to work with.
Okay.
So, what could you do with it? I don't know, we could try to. put as much-
Well, at least you'd have enough money to go ahead and authorize the repair of both roofs at both locations. And then the remainder of it, we could then go ahead to bid, find out what the cost would be for the associated ceiling repair,
And put
the
the
wall
balance
repair.
aside for that.
There's a variety of options, but you have to give me some guidance as to
And
what
then
you
again,
wish
in
to
town
do.
meeting, we could ask them for the rest of the money out of the that 31,000 account to put towards the fire station's wall.
Well, it definitely looks like it's doable. So let's get back to the motion and the second to table discussion on the community center roof repair at this point. All in favor? Opposed?
No, I'd like to do the community roof, if we get the money to do it.
We don't know yet. We're not
No,
sure of
we
that
got
yet.
it right here, we got 55,000,
But they're not sure of that yet. You
It
know,
has to be approved by the town.
yeah. this
not
is
the
not-
55,000,
No, nobody's,
that doesn't have to be.
I think the distinction is now, I think the distinction, if I'm not looking to put anybody, words in anybody's mouth, but the distinction here is that this vote tables the roof repair. So right now, we have 55,000 that could be earmarked towards the fire station repair. But that doesn't negate the fact that you may want to come back if you guys decide to do a special town meeting allocate additional funds based on what you explained, Selectman Murphy, and take care of some of the other project that we got.
I don't think we can do that. I think that money, that 55,000, was put up there for the two projects, period.
I disagree with that.
I thought it
And
was
again,
just
I don't have
I thought it was just
I don't have the
maintenance.
warrant with me, but I think the purpose of the warrant was, we took the recommendations from the building, building group, and I think your first recommendation was 65,000. You have 65,000 in there. The board reduced it to 55, and the warrant was to put 55 in account for building maintenance. It wasn't specifically earmarked, even though the purpose that you described is certainly valid, because when you did your estimates and put together your package, there were dollar amounts for those numbers. So I think we're talking the same thing, but the purpose in which it was approved was far broader than what you're describing,
Well, I thought that's what it was, that it was for maintenance, and that was, overall, it wasn't for any.
This motion we're voting on now is not to kill the repair, it's just to table the repair on the community center.
Right.
And we've already, how did you vote?
I voted no.
He voted no. It was a 3-2 vote. Now, I guess what I want to do now, before we move off these subjects, is to entertain further discussion with the board as to, do you have any feelings that we should go ahead and try to put something together as I've described here, based on the two estimates that we presently have, and some of the things that Selectman Murphy said, and put together a special town meeting warrant to see if we can get the townspeople to move some of that money.
I'd say absolutely.
I don't have any problem with that. I think that's the way of doing it, and that way we haven't got to go back to them for tax dollars.
Right.
Yes, we will. Now, don't fool yourself. We're still gonna have to go back for tax dollars to fix the walls of the building.
At some point, yes, sir.
At some point, and that is as critical as the roof, I'll tell you right now. The masonry of the building needs some tender loving care
Yes,
quickly.
I understand that. But I'm gonna take a figure out here of what I think probably they're gonna come up with for the, that they do now. I'm gonna take a close one. I love these numbers now. And let me see that, let's see. Okay, I come up that with between the fire station, doing the inside, and I took a round figure of 65,000 because that's not high nor low, and I added 12,990, and I got 77,990, so that still gives us quite a bit of money for the outside of the building.
But we
That's
don't,
my opinion. I don't know.
but I'm trying to tell you
And I'm
that
only an estimate.
you don't know that.
No, I don't. It's only an estimate.
That's the bottom line.
But I've been doing quite a few of those different things all my life.
Well,
And
I commend you for doing that.
The man I lived with used to do that, and I used to sit down with the big ones for him.
Marcia, Joe, how do you feel about keeping the finance office pursuing that money? Okay. Bob, in favor of that?
Okay, well,
The finance office and keep pursuing this money to fund basically some
As long as we're on-
dead CIP accounts.
as long as we're on this discussion, I think we ought to go to bid for this, for the walls of the building. So we know exactly what we're gonna deal with.
Well, we can still go to bid for them, for that matter.
We're just talking about them pursuing this possibility, which seems like a real possibility.
I think, to Selectman Craig's point, I think it may be prudent to put the walls out to bid,
Yeah.
because we're gonna be in that budget process. Regardless of what happens here, we can at least allocate additional funding to secure it for that purpose.
And I'm thinking that we may have about 14,000 to put towards it out of this one.
I don't have any problem.
No, and I could be way off.
You vote?
No, I don't think so.
We don't have to vote.
Well, then, what we'll do is the finance office and I, and then we'll have the town clerk do up a timeline for special town meetings and provide to you some parameters of that, so we can move forward and see if we can get some of those dollars moved from one account to another. Does that sound fair?
Thank you. As long as we're on this subject, Mr. Chairman, I would strongly recommend that we secure bids for the exterior of the building.
Well, isn't that what we just decided to do?
No. No. We decided to fix the roof and both roofs, basically.
No, we decided to put the outside of the building out to bid.
You don't,
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
we
We
talked about
weren't
it.
against it. We weren't
We
against
talked
it.
about it,
Was
but there was no motion made to do that.
No, maybe we haven't voted on it yet, but
Right.
I think we all planned on doing it.
Right.
Putting it out to bid now, so we'll know
Where we stand.
where we stand on it.
You need a motion for that?
Well, I moved that we put, the maintenance, so whatever you call it, for the outside building or the outside of the fire department, fire station, out to bid now. Sealing it, it's a sealing the building, isn't it?
Yeah, and we'd be looking, what, for June, July project? So the bidders would know?
Anytime after the first of April.
Yeah, I'd say May anyway, May.
Well,
Or maybe
I wanna cautious.
after budget.
Right, I wanna be cautious about doing something in May, because our annual town meeting warrant, they have to be, depending on the spirit of the voters. They have to be moved.
So June would probably be better.
15th of June.
Okay.
Probably a good idea. And then weather, that's a good time to do it, because June is usually a warm month. And you wanna seal something.
So do you want to state your motion?
Yeah, I move that we put out to bid the sealing of the outside of the fire department.
Is it
And
just
the
sealing or is
the
there other?
repairs and sealing.
Repairs and sealing.
And resealing.
That kind of covers it, okay.
Have they removed the grout from the expansion joints?
That
Didn't
has
say
to be
that
done.
was a problem.
Good.
Has it been removed?
Oh, no,
No.
there's no work that's been done.
So that would have to be included in the bid.
That's correct.
Well, that's.
She
maybe-
stated with repairs, sealing when in repairs.
I think there's some other things that folks need to
It's something to do with
recognize.
the windows have to be.
There's more than just the ceiling. If we're talking liquid sealing of the wall, there are other methods of sealing that building and giving it structural strength at the same time. And to me, that would be a valid thing to do, only because it would extend the life expectancy of the building. And I think Jeff needs to understand, we need pricing to do something of that nature. Not just sealing per se, but as an example, in the Somersworth Fire Station, we use block mold, which is a fiberglass cement combination. You put that on the building, it increases the strength of the block considerably, but it's also waterproof.
You're replacing that, you know.
So that's worked out quite well. That building was, we put that up in '83, I think it was.
It was just in the paper that they need that replaced.
Yeah, they got a new chief in there that wants to build a new fire station.
Is that after the course?
So I have a motion.
Alan did,
Also depends on the building.
Alan did
You don't
add
have a second.
repairs, which covers
Yeah, I'll
quite a bit.
You second it?
Okay.
Now I have a motion and a second to go out to bid for June, July, operating for repairs and resealing of the exterior walls of the fire station.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Thank you. I think that wraps it up for now. And it provides me some direction when I meet with Jeff to discuss further these bids that we received.
He might have some idea.
Right, if it, you know, one of the things here, if it comes back that the low bid is a good bid, you could exercise some authority and award that earlier before you go to the special town meeting for additional funds. If you civil
That's true.
guy.
Yeah, but that low bid is only 47,006.
Right, and you have 55 in the account now.
Yeah, I'd be a little concerned. Low bid quite often, unfortunately.
I'm just saying,
It's
I'm
It
just
isn't
making.
always the best.
Not only you throw the low one on the high one, work on those that are in the range. It's a normal bidding process.
Okay, I think that wraps up.
You still have the authority to accept and reject any and all bids.
Will the town engineer be reviewing those bids also?
What, the bids that were open this evening?
Yes.
I would say that you would allow Jeff to do that.
Oh, yeah.
At this particular point, he's been the one that's put the bids together, has spoken to the contractors.
Okay.
Bringing John in would be a little delay.
No, I think, in fact, I thought it was good that he ordered them tonight, because he checked through them and did the bids.
Yeah. Okay, last item, unfinished business. Discuss the possibility of designating on public property for informational signs. And I guess I'll let Keith speak a little bit to this.
Yeah, I guess I can kick it off, but really this is predicated by some discussions that were being had at the board, and I think Selectmen Murphy talked a little bit about it, was if there's a way within the confines of our ordinance, or if there isn't within the ordinance, what do you have to do in order to get approval? But I think your thought was that it would be nice to have some designated public property where folks could put informational signs up for a general purpose, for, you know, baseball sign-ups, soccer sign-ups, things like that for a small period of time, and then have them removed and begin to designate one area with those signs. I think Mr. Stone made a very good point that we have these signs that keep cropping up inappropriately in various locations, and if you have one place that, or maybe two places that we encourage them to be placed, that
I
would
was
be
thinking
more.
of three.
Okay.
I have three in mind.
Okay, well, when I look at the, you know, you have to read the ordinance again too, but when I look at the sign ordinance, under sign 7.12, under B, says the following signs are exempt from land use requirements: information signs, memorial tablets, public notices, public safety signs, real estate signs, national, state flag, religious symbols, insignias, historic plaques, house numbers, political signs, interior signs, motor vehicle signs, service club road signs. So I would,
Why would you exempt political signs? I thought Berwick, even their political signs have to go in one place.
well, what it's saying here is they're not required to have a permit. They don't need a permit to do those.
No.
All right, so I would term the things that you described tonight as informational signs, is those types of signs that you would like to have designated one location. So when I read this, unless you're reading it different from me, and I believe that the ordinance provides that flexibility already, to provide location and the ability to put signs on public property.
Actually, everybody knows I'm very focused. My concern is that we have the sandwich signs for the library, and everything we have over there, our fundraisers, our book thing, everything. We put those, we put one down here, one at the corner of Route 9 and Old Pine Hill going to the library, and one up at the end of Old Pine Hill, north, for people to see. And those spots, I mean, and yet, because the library is not a department of the town, I don't know how that would fit into that. But that's very important to the library, not only financially, but for information for people. And I mean, they're not there all the time.
Do you feel that this section of the ordinance wouldn't apply to that?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Do you think that?
But I don't think I've digested that as well as I should.
Do you think that we should ask for clarification from the planning board or the code enforcement officer as how we determine that?
Good
That might be
idea.
a good idea.
Good idea.
You know, something that many towns have done is civic organizations in the community have put up billboards, so to speak. I I'm not talking about these 20 by
No.
40 things, but, you know, a 4 by 8 sheet, neatly done, their insignia on it as the design people, they paid for doing it, it doesn't cost the town anything. They can affix their logo to it. But then there is an area, a large area, that can be used for various signage.
See,
What
we have the sandwich boards like you got
Yeah,
up here.
I know
And then
that.
we keep changing, you know, whatever we have to do.
What I'm thinking of here is the fact, if the civic group is willing to take that on, then one of the conditions of doing that is to take care of it. Which means if a sign is of a certain age, it can be removed and without, you know, creating an issue. I think those kinds of things are important to look at, because many times signs are put up in the left for long periods of time.
Yeah, see, political signs, you have so many days to take them down, or there's a fine. And then-
Yeah, but we're not all political like you
No,
are.
no, but I mean, that is a state law.
Can I just interject some other points here that I want to talk a little bit about what you were discussing, is that you have a thought as to where they could be located?
Well, I'm talking about where we
Right.
locate ours, so, because, as you know, the library is kind of off the beaten path.
I understand that, but
And-
do you have a recommendation as to what public properties you would think that we could
Well,
locate
one is the
signs?
sidewalk, the other one's the common road up there. I don't know who, it's
But are
public.
they owned by the town? See,
I don't
the
know,
ones
yeah, I
I,
don't know.
Yeah, they're on the edge of the road in the town.
see, the ones that I think
Yes, I
about,
know, kind of public or private, who cares, we put them there anyway.
the ones I think about is if you're coming up 236 and before you take a left onto, what is it, Medium Road?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right there, that triangle there is owned by the town. Right there in the corner.
Yeah.
The road goes this way and then that triangle is owned by the town. That's a good location to put signs. Down here, I don't know. You know, we
You know,
don't own
everybody
it,
puts them right there at the thing.
but we don't own it.
Who owns it, the state?
Well, you know what, the park is owned by the Prime folks. They own the land.
Yeah, but the sidewalk goes out, and we always put them by the
So
sidewalk.
are you saying that we should exercise and allow informational signs on the edge of the sidewalk?
I don't know, I mean,
Okay.
that's what, if you notice, there's a lot, you come over from Somersworth, you see a lot of signs. And no, I don't put them on the sidewalk when I put the library, when I stick it over on the side, hopefully, so that people can read. I don't put it right in the
Yeah, I
middle of
was
the
just looking
sidewalk.
for larger pieces, and what I was referring to is what you had described down there off of 236 in South Berwick, where they have the island between
Yeah.
them. And everybody puts signs there, then they all come down. But that's like a designated area.
Yeah.
I thought that's what you were referring to,
Yeah,
as having a designated area.
Yes, I was, except for the library.
The library ones I never thought of being offensive. The problem was when they were sticking them in the flower pots.
Sullivan and Pine
That's
Hill
right.
Road, we own that property there.
Yep. Good location to put on.
Now, are you saying that at the corner here at the bridge, in front of Spencer Matthews, that you're not sure who owns that property?
I'm not saying that would be an appropriate time, place to put signs or not. I think
It does make a mess, it gets cluttered big
certainly
time.
does. You have people
But
in
it's a
audience
great
who
spot,
understand that.
it's a great spot for the sign up in the
Well, if
blood
you
drive.
get too many, you don't even have time to read them.
No,
I
no.
mean, it just is too busy. And yet, you got a sign that's too busy, they don't read. The sign should be simple, not busy at all.
So you want me to get some clarification from the planning board or the CEO on sign placement, on whether or not it exercise that the provisions within the ordinance would extend to informational signs that we're describing. We're still up in the air as to appropriate locations.
Because everybody likes to put it there by Spencer Matthews, and the simple reason, everybody in Berwick has to come across that bridge. 99.9% of us do.
Too good a canoe you all set.
I have a couple up in the barn.
What's your pleasure? What would you like me to do at this point?
I want you to do what you said you were going to do.
Just what you say.
There.
Talk talk to the code enforcement officer and talk to the planning board and see.
Okay. Do you wanna give more thought as to locations?
Yeah, probably,
Okay.
Could they help us with that at all?
We can try.
yeah, they probably got ideas. I know there has been some talk that people did not like Mrs. signs over here.
Right.
They didn't think it looked very well coming into the town.
Well, like you said, I guess there'd be so many that you can't read any of them.
Well, that's right.
Okay. I'm all set with that.
I just want the librarian to know that they used to be talking about the library all the time, so it doesn't bother them, they do what they want to anyway.
That concludes the agenda on unfinished business. What do you have something
I
else?
just
there,
had a
Dean?
couple other things, yeah. We had a couple appointments that we didn't accomplish at your last business meeting. And I'd like to have you folks approve some of these. The first one would be to appoint and confirm myself as the health officer for the town of Berwick. That was one that we had
I
left out.
mentioned that one, remember?
You did, and we did not have the paperwork, so we have it now. Another one would be, after my authorization would be to confirm my appointment of Judy Buckman as General Assistance Administrator for the town. And the last one I have, we received some information today that Ken Hall has been contacted, and he's very interested in serving as trustee for the Berwick Sewer District to take over the unexpired term of Don Brooks, who's retired.
And we have his letter, I believe, so.
I did. I do have it, and I think I sent copies to you folks at home. So those are the three that I would like to see.
Did you receive that today?
Yes. Yep. Received it today.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it on my computer.
All he did was, it was like a 1 or 2 page sentence saying that, I Ken Hall, I'm interested in serving for the expired term of Don Brooks as sewer district trustee.
He came in tonight, but he's right over in the meeting.
Yeah.
His doctor.
Saying he was interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he did.
And Ken has served the town as the capacity of chairman of the appeals board at one point, even while you were serving on the board.
Ken has been involved.
So those are the three that I would have here. Two would be outright appointments by you, and one would be confirming an appointment by me. If you'd like, I would just,
Do all three.
we'll do them all at one at a time. I would entertain a motion to appoint Keith Rutherford as health officer for the town of Berwick, whose term is now expired.
Don't move. Second.
Shouldn't we have some form of discussion on your ability to be a health
Yep,
officer?
you certainly can.
Go right ahead.
Yes, well, do you have a resume on that?
I have the.
Don't push it, you'll back out.
Okay, I had a motion by Selectman Elton and seconded by Selectman Chambers. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Thank you. I'll send that down the line. Next one would be your appointment, would be to appoint Ken Hall as, to confirm him as trustee to the Berwick Sewer District for the town of Berwick for a term to expire May of 2014.
I'll move that.
Okay? Any further discussion? All those in favor? And finally, would be to confirm my appointment of Judy Buckman to serve as General Assistant Administrator for the town with a term ending December 31st, 2012.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Thank you. And that's all I have for that, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
and new business. We do not have any abatements or supplements, correct?
That's correct, they came in late, I held them until, I have two. One that we have already talked about was you had questions on the unimproved right-of-way to a piece of property. So I've got that
Explain
answered,
that.
and then there's another one. So I'll have those on your agenda for the 17th.
Okay, our second public comment. Mr.
Jay Wheeler, Berwick
Wheeler.
Sewer District. I just wanted to offer, in 2009, we undertook a survey in order to access CDBG funds. Didn't happen, but it was a survey of our users, which is the same as basically the downtown of Berwick. For some reason, it's the only LMI district, a low to medium income district, south of Route 25, I think. But our survey was to certify that that US Census data was correct. And our survey was certified, and it leaked good for probably 5 years. And just I want to remind you that we have that there, because when I hear you talk about community building, the community center, or possibly a community garden, anything that would happen within that district downtown, that survey would be a big help in accessing funds from community development office in Maine. I mean, you might be able to find somebody to help with that roof, or a park, or whatever it is. So we have that there. I think you should do this.
Thank you.
All right. The other thing is just thinking about, after Prime left, I undertook, we're always looking for good ways to overcome, to get back online. And one of them, I went to the planning board a few weeks ago with a conceptual design. We drew in a manufacturing facility down on Sewer District land. They call it the Berwick Beer Park. Because one thing that I saw that we had to sell was all this capacity at the sewer district. We recently talked to a couple of breweries, and but the big thing is that besides capacity to sewer district, you also have to have the capacity to make water for them. And looking into that, it's basically the same. We've got over 1 million gallons worth of capacity. We use 150,000 a day, and the same with the water plant is designed for probably 1 million. Chris says maybe it'll make a little less comfortably, but they make about 150,000 a day. So if there's any one thing to sell in manufacturing to get us out of the dumps here, everybody could benefit. I'd offer, our board had talked about it, you throw in 2,000, we'll find 2,000, whatever, if we have to hire a publicist to try and sell that one benefit this town has to attract something,
We'd
we'd be all for it,
if we all sit down together and talk and discuss these things, both boards.
well, it's just an idea, so just to chew
We
on
could
it.
come up with something to benefit. And I mean, and a brewery is certainly,
That's a good idea.
They have samples.
Jay, didn't Prime put in 5 lots down there on the land they bought, and they were supposed to be all industrial sites?
No, nothing's never been subdivided. That's all,
I thought they did, I thought they had 5 lots here.
no, that was a concept plan that,
Oh, and it never
initiated by
actually
Frank
went
Underwood,
through?
yeah, he was trying to get, but that'd be a fabulous idea. The Kaplans own that property now, and,
Oh, okay.
that'd be ideal.
but I'll bet Mike and Steve would be willing to do something like that with it. I'm sure they're not gonna do any build on it or anything.
Oh, yeah, you never know. I mean, I tried to talk to him a couple of years ago, but, it never went anywhere. But I mean,
But I
if you,
remember that when we did talk with industrial park there.
well, that's another case where, and Keith probably knows more about it than I, as far as accessing community development funds or even rural development for building, if the Kaplans were agreeable, even to be the owner independent to these industries, to rent the space. I mean, you could develop a road and utilities to help promote that, but you could have more concrete things to start that on, so, but just an idea. So.
Mrs. LaRoche.
No disrespect, Jay, but, that area that you're proposing that.
Can you speak to us, ma'am? I can't hear what you're saying.
Well, the area, I just felt bad because he's been talking about that brewery and, seems to have done a lot of work. And that area is like, really, in the past 5 years, has had a very rough time with flooding and the homes and like, the homes are basically worthless right now.
Down 236?
No.
That's what we're talking about.
Our treatment plant.
Am I
our
getting this
treatment
wrong
plant-
again?
Yeah, our treatment plant's in a different location.
It
That little
surrounds
pump
the
station
sewer
next to you is
district.
just a little,
Across the town barn?
yeah, no, I'm talking about down, we have, I don't know, 40, 50, 60
Oh, I guess
acres down
that's
there.
Dane out there, and he told me it was the same place, across from me.
No.
No,
He
that-
said to me.
That's a community gardens across from you.
Okay, good. I like that. I like that, that'll work. And my other question was, Keith, I wanted to ask what the guidelines are for a health position. For the residents, what do you do for the residents?
Would you like to be it?
What?
Would you like to be health officer?
No,
Oh,
you
okay.
were just appointed, and now,
I'd love to be able to give it to somebody else.
those things that you guys all just signed, do they need to be notarized? I thought I saw at the bottom of it, it said notary on it. No?
No, I don't think they can be signed.
Well, does it say notary at the bottom
No,
of
it
it?
does not.
When you appoint somebody, it doesn't need to be notarized?
No,
Well, can you tell me
not in these particular cases. What would you like to know about the health officer position?
tell me a little bit about what you do for the residents as the health
I'd
officer?
be more than happy to have you come in my office and I'll talk, we'll sit down and talk to you about it.
You can't tell us and,
I just
I might-
don't wanna
I
take
might
up any
not-
more time at the business meeting. If you have an interest in it, like
We only have
more,
3 minutes per
be
no,
more
but
than
just
happy
a
to talk
couple
to you
of,
about
just
it.
a couple of things, I might not be the only one interested.
Well, say
Well,
there's
'cause my house has
say-
been-
Say there's an apartment in Berwick and the bathroom is not working and it's overflowing and everything, the health officer would go in and demand it be cleaned up. Things like that.
Okay. Oh, 'cause my
Yeah,
house,
he doesn't go in and take your appendix out or anything.
well, my house has been crumbling for 5 years and now I have black mold growing and really, you know, and, I don't know.
Being a health officer
Anyone else in the back?
hasn't helped us.
In the back, excuse me.
Thank you.
Mike Doran.
That will help me immensely.
You speak up? Do I have to take that again? Anyways. On your, Canterbury Policy of Conduct meetings, there, section B, says spontaneous and unruly conduct by individuals participating in a public meeting of the Board of Selectmen undermines public confidence in town government. Your actions are what undermines our confidence in this town government, not people speaking out. That kind of insulting to the taxpayers in this town.
In the back, right here, glasses.
That wasn't me.
No, it was. Okay.
Steve Plum. To Mrs. Clayton's comment about, bids.
Oh, what?
Bids,
Okay.
for the fire station. I was here when the, civil engineer first, introduced, the contract before it went out to bid. He had reason, I believe, to divide the two projects. Because, it is not apparent where the leakage is coming from in these walls. And he wanted disclosure that would be availed to you by the opening of the roof contract. Once the demolition is done, you can see in between the wides of the wall. He will know a lot better where the moisture problems are once they disclose that at the top of the wall. So it was his intention to have the contract separated, so you'd have better bid information, so a contractor can really understand what the scope of the project is. Right now, it's indeterminate.
Thank you. Anyone else? Way in the back. Mr. Stoke.
After we are gonna do some refurbishing and paint our bridge that we could cross over, I'm the one who brought up the sign ordinance change that I would love to see. And one of them is, when we cross our new bridge from Somersworth into our town, the only sign I believe that we should see is one, like the one behind you, with maybe an addition, the gateway to Maine. Something that's inviting into the community. Also, now that the abatement project has begun, is it possible to get like a breakdown to see exactly what taxes they're paying the town, like for last year and now this year? And I believe my mill weight rate went up $1, somebody help me, $15? $1.15? $1.50. Will their taxes increase at that rate?
The same rate as yours,
I just wanna make sure it's not a flat rate for 75 years. Okay. And lastly, you handed us out the decorum package again, which I sat in when you put it together the first time, was just minor changes. But tonight, you took 2 items out of order at the beginning of the meeting. One, a fine introduction, and one, a bid opening because our civil engineer was here. I've seen this done several times for our town lawyer, our town engineer, and others. I was very disappointed a month ago when I sat here and watched our police chief sit here for 2.5 hours when he had a very good proposal to give to you, and we made him wait. I was so mad that night I couldn't speak. I think he deserved the same respect as everybody else that you've moved ahead in the agenda. In fact, when he came up and gave his proposal that night, he presented a proposal that would save our town and our taxpayers $30,000 by saving a very good cruiser that he's had. And 3 of you rejected it. And now we're looking for money for repairs. Think about it.
If there's nobody else, I got a couple things I'd like to say.
Anyone else? We're just about 15 minutes done, so we got about 1 or 2 left. Go ahead. Oscar.
Doing the blue.
Get him, Oscar.
This question is for Keith. I would just like to know, Keith, can I expect that you'll deliver that $6 to me tomorrow for those copies, or do I have to sit down and pick it up? Because every time I talk to you, it's $1 for every copy, so I gave you 6 tonight. Are you gonna reimburse me?
Here, have it back.
Don't be so chintzy.
As you told me last time, I only brought 3. But that's what I feel about the town. They got a citizen here that comes in and asks for something, and everything's $1. You know, come on.
$30 a couple weeks ago.
Huh?
Okay. Crosstalk.
Come to the library.
I'll take one more. Anyone? Okay, Alan, you're up.
Okay. In fact, this has been done, I
This is
think.
brief, right?
Oh, yeah. This has been done, and it's probably a very good idea, 2, 3 little items I'd like to bring up. And the one, I had gone in and talked to Judy Threatman, and I said to her, why wasn't the deed in her office to be notarized instead of in the finance office where there's no notary? Well, I'm not gonna repeat that. But anyway, now I understand all legal papers are in the town clerk's office where they belong.
That's correct.
Okay, I'm glad that's been done. And I think I did mention the fact of the grant. I think that there's a grant being written that we should be, not that we want to stop it or anything else, because these grants are good, but at least we should be notified there is a grant being written for whatever purpose. And I was also going to bring up on the cruiser, that you know, we're spending $30,000 for a new cruiser, whatever the cost is. We had one that we're selling for, the ad is in the paper today, the minimum is $7,000. That bid is out in the Fosters. And I got a telephone call this week. And we sat here the other night, which I felt like a hypocrite, questioning my police chief about how much it was going to cost him to send a police officer to the academy, and he said it cost about $30,000. And someone told me, they said, do you know that you have a person in this town who is a qualified police officer, who's probably better trained than any police officer that you have for at present time? And I said, no. And they said, well, but he can't be hired. So why are we thinking of sending somebody to the academy when we've got a trained police officer? It's just a question. He's better trained and he can even teach.
It's called
Maybe you can go to the
politics.
main academy, but you don't have to.
Did you discuss any of that with the town manager?
I haven't discussed it with anybody. I got telephone calls on it, and I was surprised. And I said, I'm gonna bring it up.
Because he is,
Thank you, Eleanor.
he is the boss there.
But that's not the point.
That's where you should
Why,
have started.
we sit here like hypocrites talking about saving money for the taxpayers. I felt like a hypocrite when I heard that. What was I thinking of?
Make a motion
That's
to
because you have a
adjourn.
conscience, Eleanor.
I get a motion to adjourn, do I have a second?
Town manager,
Discussion is still going.
All in favor?
He took the L.
Oh, yeah,
Run away, you
Any of you read the main
Well, I
paper?
don't think we can do it all.
Yeah, George.
Change for change for change.